Love your yard with a new outdoor space from F&B Landscaping. From a new build to a new project in an existing yard, we listen and give you the yard you want within your budget. Lawns, water features, xeriscaping. We've got the artistic touch and technical know-how to bring the peak of Colorado outdoor living to your home. Reliable, trustworthy. Visit fblandscapes.com to schedule a free consultation today. Well, things are starting to change up as we move into the weekend. I'm Matt Meister, you're on Peaks to Plains weather, and what we're seeing is the high pressure starting to shift off to the west, and that's already changing our flow aloft. It's going to bring storms off to the southeast today and continue to change things up for the weekend as there's some drier air out there off to our northwest that'll rotate in across the area as well as we move into Friday night and Saturday. And I think we're going to be dry around here until we get another cold front to come in on Tuesday. We have had a couple of lingering showers and a few thunderstorms early this morning as a cold front has come into the area. Behind it, low-level moisture being pushed up against the hills will be one of the ingredients that we get for stronger thunderstorms today. Behind the cold front, a northeast wind gradually switching eastward as we move into the afternoon also helps to create some wind shear in the atmosphere. Remember, as you get up top, it's kind of out of the northwest today. And that's enough turning in the atmosphere that we'll see wind shear enough that will allow some of the storms to start to rotate, which helps them organize. And you can see where the fuel for the low-level moisture is with storms kind of impinged up against the eastern slopes of the mountains. So that's where I think storms will develop today. Palmer Divide might help to develop a couple as well, the Raton Mesa. And then we'll see a lot of the storms move to the southeast. The stronger ones could move south-southeast this afternoon. So as we hit the early part, just say we get past lunch, storms are starting to develop in a couple of spots. Now, there may not be a ton of them today, but the ones that are out there could be strong. They'll bring some moderate to heavy rain, no doubt about that. And then the strongest storm or two today will be kind of up on the low end of severe levels, which means some wind gusts around 60. And maybe a couple of hailstones around 1 inch in diameter. Most hail with the storms would be smaller than that, but because they're rotating with some of that wind shear, there's an outside possibility that that will happen. And I don't want you to get hung up on the specific areas from north to south where storms are or aren't, but the corridor of where the storms are is right. So kind of along the eastern slopes, the interstate, and then as things get too far east of the interstate, I think they'll tend to weaken a little bit as there's a little bit of a cap in the mid-levels of the atmosphere behind the front moving in this morning, and that will have things kind of collapsing, which could be one of the reasons we get some 60-mile-per-hour gusts. And I also can't guarantee what this version of Skycast is doing, that we get a second round of storms to develop off of the Palmer Divide into the evening, but it's a possibility. Could happen in a slightly different spot. So you might get a round or two today if you're one of the lucky or unlucky ones, depending on how you want to look at that. And then I think as we move into the evening, the storms are getting out of here once the sun goes down, so it takes a couple of hours usually to get rid of stuff. High temperatures today, cooler behind the front. Mid-80s for the Springs, I think that'll feel pretty nice. Still a little bit humid out there, 90s across the eastern plains. Mountains won't change too much from what we've had the last couple of days. And tomorrow's not that different either. However, as we head into Sunday, things start to warm up a noticeable amount, and that's because we get this high kind of building up to the north, drier air's moving in. Sunday and Monday will be some pretty toasty days. It'll also be drier this weekend. Best chance of a storm on Saturday will be over the southern Sangre de Cristo Mountains and the mountains off to the southwest of Alamosa. Just something to be aware of if you're in those areas. They won't be as strong as the storms out there today, but something I want to make you aware of. Could impact some plans. If you hear some thunder, just remember you're close enough to the storm, could be struck by lightning, should go inside. Then you see the heat on the way for Sunday, and that'll be with us for Monday as well. We move into next week, and we start eyeing another cold front. It should move into the area on Tuesday, maybe late Monday night. I'll cover that in the extended forecast. A beautiful day. I'm in the Peaks to Plains weather backyard, which is made possible by F&B Landscaping and Hydrix Colorado Tree Farm Nursery. Starting to maybe inch toward fall a little bit. August begins this weekend. Crazy how fast 2026 is going by. Have a good day.